Hey guys, let's talk about tonight's episode of Scandal. And it was a good episode. It was kind of quiet, some subtle undertones going on throughout the episode, but I did enjoy it. We start off the episode pretty much with Cyrus blackmailing Olivia to come and do an assignment for the White House. And this episode was all about the State of the Union address and this couple that was sort of the face of gun control after a teacher had basically her school, there was a shooting at her school and she was holding young little kids as they were dying all around her. She was shot, she was hit with a bullet, and she was paralyzed. So when Fitz is about to give this speech at the State of the Union address, they are crucial figures that they want there. And it's Olivia's job to get them there. And they haven't been answering phone calls. They didn't get on a plane to come to Washington. So Cyrus sends her out on this mission. And of course, she's, I don't work for the White House. And then he pretty much blackmails her, first with the IRS, and then with telling her that he will tell Fitz that she's been asking about him and wanting to see him and all this stuff. So Olivia's like, fine, I'll do it. So we have, of course, Huck and Quinn working at Pope and Associates, and Abby is still working as, I believe, press secretary at the White House and fielding all those kinds of questions. And of course, one of the big topics of conversation is Melly Grant. And what I do like with the show is that they're actually spending some time having her mourn the death of her son. I mean, this is a tragic loss, and it should be. And I'm glad that the show isn't just rushing and having her move on to be her perky, melly self, who's all about politics and all about succeeding with her husband, and that they're actually taking the time to show her grieving, laying at his grave site, eating potatoes, schlepping around in Uggs and oversized clothes and a robe, and just not really caring what anybody thinks. And the fact that when Cyrus and Fitz come over and they basically say, look, this is what's happening and people are taking pictures of you. She's like, do you think I really care? This is all about you. You just don't you want me to come to this function at the State of the Union, and this is all about you. It's not about me. And I need you to understand that I just don't care. And it's really heartbreaking because it's true. She shouldn't care what anybody thinks right now. And the fact that we all know that her son was actually murdered, but she and Fitz both believe that their son died of some strange bacteria is, going to be very interesting when the truth comes out. And I'm sure it will come out. So that was a thread that was going through this episode. And obviously the State of the Union address was perfect. And Olivia had a hand in changing the tone of that speech by pretty much saying, don't say this, relate it to the fact that you lost your own child, and that gun control, we all share the same emotions when we lose a child, and we have to put a stop to this however we can. And I thought that the speech that was given by Fitz was perfect. And obviously this is sort of touching off the tragedy that happened at Sandy Hook when all those young kids were killed by the gunman that came in and sadly took so many lives. So, it was a good moment, I think, on the show. It was interesting that it's a Republican president that is saying this about gun control, but, it's a TV show, and we'll see what the reactions are with the reviews tomorrow when people talk about this, because I'd be very interested to hear what people say if they think that this would never happen. And, I think that a lot of Republicans would agree that there could be some better laws regarding gun control, but it just doesn't really happen. So we'll see what people think about this tomorrow. But yeah, I thought it was a strong episode, and they're showing Jake obviously not resting on the fact that Harrison and Adnan Salif were murdered. He believes that Rowan had something to do with it, and rightfully so. So he's gone and asked David Rosen for all the information he has on this, because he pretty much wants to solve this case. He doesn't believe that it was just, 1-2, he's dead. He believes that Rowan is behind this. And so, yes, he is secretly, because he hasn't told Olivia, that he is working on this. David Rosen was definitely taking a page out of Olivia's book and doing whatever was necessary for him to stay as attorney, a state's attorney, and he pretty much blackmailed the other senator so that he wouldn't reveal these fake photos of him beating up a woman that was planted by Olivia and her team last season. So it was nice to see that David realizes that to get ahead here, you can't just play by the rules. You got to be a little dirty every once in a while. And it was good to see him step out of that role. Another awesome scene that I really liked was Abby confronting Melly and basically, telling her to snap out of it and that kids die and that it'd be a good for her to be at the State of the Union address, and showing that the rest of America that she's grieving just like they're grieving and that a loss is shared by everybody. And I thought that it was a really powerful speech that she gave. So I was like, I enjoyed that. On a little bit of the sexier front, we had Jake basically telling Olivia that he's staying in a hotel because he doesn't want to be her sugar daddy. He doesn't want to be summoned anytime. He doesn't want to just live at her house and not really be dating. And, he's putting his foot down. And I like that because it's making Olivia choose. She's not being able to dictate how this is going to work. He pretty much is. And I like that because for so long, this relationship has been so back and forth. And I like that he's putting his foot down and is like, if you want to see me, you can come to my place and we'll call it a booty call. And she doesn't want to call it a booty call, but I like that he's like, that's what it is, like, because we're not dating. And so I'm really liking the dynamic between the two of them right now. And when she came to his house with that ball of wine and just naked under the robe, it's pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, I'm hoping that they continue on this thread with the two of them and not just try to have Fitz be the obstacle that is always in the way. I liked how they handled the Fitz and Olivia scene because last week they just walked past each other and really focused on their fingers almost touching, but not. So it was good to see them in the room, being mature, kind of, and him just wanting her opinion on the speech. And then, obviously they had a good moment between the two of them, but nothing where it felt like they were making googly eyes at each other and that they couldn't resist one another. So if that's what we're going to get, I'm fine with it for now. And of course, we had the Huck and Quinn drama that we're slowly starting to figure out what happened because we still haven't seen what went down between the two of them. We know that Quinn found his family for him, and he's not happy about that, and he's still pretty bitter about it. So I guess in the next couple of weeks, in the episodes ahead, we'll start to figure out the pieces of that puzzle. And of course, we had Cyrus, who was being hit on by a tall gentleman at a bar. And right from the beginning, I was like, this is not for real because it just didn't seem real. And of course, we find out by the end that Lizzie has hired this escort to hit on Cyrus. And I don't know what she's trying to do. Obviously, she's going to try to blackmail him, get some dirt on him, and use this for leverage against Cyrus. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. Yeah, I thought it was not like a smash it up, like cliffhangers everywhere kind of an episode, but it's, again, easing us into this season because last season was so chaotic. I mean, there was even a point where I forgot James died last season. and so when Cyrus is talking with Melly and he says, oh, I'll eat this piece of chicken and I'll die of a heart attack, but I'll be with James. And I'm like, oh my God, that's right. James died last season. So much carnage happened in last season. So it's almost like you have to take a step back, clean the slate, let everybody have their moments of grieving, and let's set up what's going to happen moving forward. So let me know what you guys thought of this episode. Leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Okay,